DeMarco, we have the first exit polls, the first estimates, and it looks like Emmanuel Macron has won the election with 65% of the vote. That means he has roundly defeated Marine Le Pen. The exit polls here are usually remarkably accurate, so if all the media are calling it for him, we can be pretty sure she cannot make up that gap. You can probably hear behind me here on the Place de la République, there are car horns honking. The word is getting out, it is on all the news, and there's a lot of relief here.
All right, Elaine, we just saw that with 65% of the votes in, it shows that Macron clearly has the lead at this point. For Americans who haven't been paying attention, go ahead and walk us through this. What do the two candidates represent, and what could the impact be beyond France?
Well, both were outsiders, and that makes a big difference. 55% of those who voted in the first round chose somebody other than these two. Centrist Emmanuel Macron has been a minister for finance, but he only set up his movement late last summer when he decided he would run for the presidency. So now he's got to look at forming a government, and that's not going to be easy because he doesn't have, a ready-made cabinet, if you will. He doesn't have a party full of experienced politicians. He's pro-Europe, pro-business, very keen on loosening France's strict labor laws to improve the economy here and lower France's 10% unemployment rate. Marine Le Pen, on the other hand, was anti-Europe, quite protectionist, and also seen as far too close to the Russians for many people's liking. And there are those who've been seeing the hand of Russia possibly in that massive hack of Emmanuel Macron's campaign emails and finance documents on Friday in an 11th hour hit at his campaign.
You're looking actually at the Louvre right now. These are pictures here of Macron's supporters reporting. All eyes from all over the world have been on France, of course, up until this point. Elaine, you reported earlier that voter turnout was down. What type of effect could that have?
Well, in fact, turnout appears to have picked up a little, 74%, and there was a lot of fear that that could help Marine Le Pen. She's always had a small but solid base. They were always going to turn out for her. The question was how much Macron could persuade people, either traditional right or traditional left, who didn't like his centrist policies, that they should vote for him. A lot of concern about abstention, about not just abstention, but spoiled ballots. But it looks like he has managed to sway fears, or, as many have said, a protest vote. A lot of people were saying, I don't want to vote for him. I don't really like what he stands for, but I don't like her at all. So I will take the lesser of two evils.
All right, well, speaking of Macron, he was also the victim of a cyber attack just a few days ago. That's a development that U.S. intelligence has been warned about for months, of course. Could that sway things? That's not really likely to have swayed anything. It was right at the end, and also there was a media blackout that's imposed always before the elections, so there won't have been a lot of coverage talking about the details. And I think people would have made up their minds by then, but it may have an effect on the legislative elections, which are coming up in June. He's got to now go straight on the campaign trail to find himself a government to deal with what will happen. In France, the president takes over really quickly. President Hollande took office on the 15th of May, so Macron has to be in before then. And that means the agenda for presidential activities, both national and international, will go over to him. And as you mentioned, he's new on the international scene. He will have a lot of catching up to do and a lot of work to do, both to bring the country together because it's been so strongly divided, but also to stamp his authority on the international scene. All right, finally, Elaine, what happens later tonight, and are there rallies planned?
There are rallies planned by both candidates for a start. Emmanuel Macron at the Louvre, he invited everyone to come down. He said it's a popular thing, it's not a closed event. He was going to make a victory speech first at his offices, then he will speak again at the Louvre. People already lining up there for the best places. They're handing out free French tricolours for everybody going there, very much a symbol that he wants to bring the country back together again. Marine Le Pen is not far away from here.
in the Bois de Vincennes in a chic restaurant there that they've privatized for the night. She'll be there with her people. She too will speak. And of course there will be popular gatherings. Here at the Place de la République, people will be coming out. They'll be gathering around Paris, probably celebrating a lot more than crying in this part of the country.
All right, Elaine Cobbe, it looks like voters there are already celebrating. This is, of course, looks like thousands of people who are at the Louvre there in that area. At 5 p.m. French time, the voter turnout stood at 65%. This is what we're hearing from the Interior Ministry. Lower than in the past 3 presidential elections there, but higher turnout is expected to benefit Mr. Macron. That's where you see most of his supporters who are gathered there. Again, Elaine Cobbe in Paris. Thank you, Elaine.